Hi everyone. In this video, we will see capital structure theories. Here we are having four major capital structure theories. That is net income approach, net operating income approach, traditional approach, then Modigliani and Miller approach. First, we will see net income approach. This theory was introduced by David Tennant. According to this theory, the capital structure decision is relevant to the value of the firm. This means the capital structure, if there is any change in financial leverage, it will automatically lead to the corresponding change in overall capital structure as well as the total value of the firm. Okay, the basic assumptions are there are no taxes, the cost of debt is less than the cost of equity, the use of debt does not change the risk perception of the investors. Here we have a format for net income approach. We have two columns, particulars and amount. First we have earnings before interest and tax, EBIT. Then we have to subtract the interest on debentures. Then we get the value of earnings before tax. Then again we subtract the taxation value. Then we will get the net earnings to equity shareholders, which is represented as A. The cost of equity, that is KE, is considered to be a B. And the market value of equity, the formula is A divided by B, that is net earnings to equity shareholders divided by the cost of equity. Then we have to add the market value of debentures and then we get the value of the total value of the firm. Then the overall capitalization rate, KO, the formula is EBIT divided by total value of the firm into 100. Okay. We have example. A company expecting an annual EBIT of rupees 1 lakh. It has rupees 4 lakhs in 10% debentures. The equity capitalization rate, the company is 12%. Calculate the total value of the firm and overall cost of capital according to net income approach. Let us see the solutions. As per the format, we have two columns, particulars and then amount. First we have a net income approach, that is earnings before interest and tax, EBIT, that is rupees 1 lakh, and we have to subtract the interest on debt, that is 10%, interest on debenture 10%. So 4 lakhs into 10%, we get the value of 40,000. After subtracting, we get the value of earnings before tax, that is EBT, rupees 60,000. Then we have again we have to subtract the taxation. Here there is no taxation percentage is mentioned. So we get the value of net earnings to equity shareholders. A is rupees 60,000. And then cost of equity, which is given in the problem, that is the equity capitalization rate of the company is 12%. Here we have 12%, which is represented as 0.125. The market value of equity, A divided by B, which means 60,000 divided by 0.125. We get the value of 4,80,000, and then we add market value of debentures, that is 4 lakhs, which is we get the total value of the firm, that is 8,80,000, and then the overall capitalization rate, KO, is equal to, the formula is EBIT divided by total value of the firm into 100. Again, after getting this 1 lakh divided by the total value is around 8,80,000 into 100. After solve this, you can get the value of 11.36%. Okay. See net operating income approach. This approach is also pronounced by David Tennant. According to this approach, the capital structure decision of the firm is irrelevant if there is any changes in leverage or capital will not result in changes of total value of the firm and also the market value of shares. This approach is opposite view of net income approach, right? The basic assumptions are the overall cost of capital, KO, remains constant. The ratio between debt and equity is not relevant. The advantage of debt is exactly increase in equity capitalization rate, and also there is no corporate taxes. We have format in net operating income approach. First we have EBIT value. From this EBIT value we have to subtract the interest on debt. Then we will get the value of net earnings to equity shareholders. and we have a formula for calculating cost of equity, that is net earnings to equity shareholders divided by market value of equity into 100. Then we have to calculate the market value of equity, the total value of the firm minus market value of debt. Again we add the market value of debt from this value of equity, and then we get the total value of the firm. Then the overall capitalization rate, KO, the formula is EBIT divided by total value of the firm into 100. We have an example problem. ABC analysis has an EBIT of rupees 1 lakh. The cost of debt is 10% and the outstanding debt amount to rupees 4 lakhs. Presuming the overall capitalization rate at 12.5%. Calculate the total value of the firm and the equity capitalization rate. Okay, the solution is as per the format. We have EBIT value. The EBIT value is 1 lakh, right? Then we have to subtract the interest on debt. The debt amount is 4 lakhs. Interest debt is 10%, right? So 4 lakhs into 10%, 40,000. We have to subtract this. We get the value of 60,000, that is net earnings to equity shareholders. Then we have the formula for calculating cost of equity, that is net earnings to equity shareholders divided by market value of equity into 100. After we applying this formula, we get the value of 15%, and then the market value of equity is total value of the firm minus market value of debt. The total value of the firm is 8 lakhs minus 4 lakhs. We get the value of 4 lakhs. And then we have to add the market value of debentures. Market value of debenture is 4 lakhs. So we have to put the amount 4 lakhs here. And then we have to calculate the overall capitalization rate. We have to calculate the overall capitalization rate. The formula is EBIT divided by total value of firm into 100. The overall capitalization rate is 12%, which is represented as 0.125, equal to the EBIT is 1 lakh. The total value of the firm, we have to find out the total value of the firm, right? So the total value of the firm is 8 lakhs. After applying this, we have to get the value of total value, there is 8 lakhs, and then the overall capitalization rate is 12.5%. Next we will see the traditional approach. This theory was advocated by Solomon and Fred Weston. According to this theory, the proper combination of debt and equity will always lead to enhance the market value of the firm. This theory is a midway between the net income approach and also net operating income approach. According to this theory, there must be a proper combination between the debt and equity will always enrich the market value of the shares and also the market value of the firm. We have the example sum. The firm's net operating income rupees 3 lakhs. The total investment is 15 lakhs. The equity capitalization rate, that is if the firm uses no debt, in this cases we have 10%. And if the firm uses debt of rupees 6 lakhs, the percentage is 11. If the firm uses debt of rupees 9 lakhs, the percentage will be 12%, and the debt of rupees 6 lakhs can be raised at 5%, the rate of interest, while debt of rupees 9 lakhs can be raised up to 7%. We have to calculate the market value of the firm, the market value of equity, and the average cost of capital. We have a solution. First we have to write the statement showing value of the firm and overall capitalization rate, right? First we have the value of EBIT. EBIT value is 3 lakhs, which is a constant in all these three conditions, and we have to subtract the interest rate of debentures, that is in first column the firm has no debt because so we put a nil, and the firm has 6 lakhs of debt. Again we go back to the problem. Here the debt of rupees 6 lakhs can be raised at 5% rate of interest, while debt of rupees 9 lakhs can be raised at 7%. Okay, so that we have to calculate 6 lakhs into 5%, then we get the amount of 30,000. At the same time we have to calculate 9 lakhs into 7%, we get the value of 63,000. After we subtract the interest rate, we get the values are 3 lakhs, 2 lakhs 70,000 and 2 lakhs 37,000 as EBT. Then there is no taxes. So our net earnings to equity shareholders, the values are remains the same. That is 3 lakhs, 2 lakhs 70,000 and 2 lakhs 37,000. And we have the value of cost of equity, which is already given in the problem. So 10%, 11% and 12%. So here we are represented as 0.1, 0.11, 0.12. Then we have to calculate the market value of equity. The market value of equity, the formula is A divided by B. So 3 lakhs divided by this 0.1, the value is 30 lakhs. And then again the same 2 lakhs 70,000 divided by 0.11. The value is 24 lakhs 54,545. Okay. Again the same way we are calculating this 2 lakhs 37,000 divided by 0.12. The value is 19 lakhs 75,000. Again we had the market value of debentures. In first column there is no debt, so we put it is nil. And in second column 6 lakhs and respectively the third column is 9 lakhs. So after this addition we get the value of 30 lakhs 54,545 and here 28 lakhs 75,000. The overall capitalization rate, the formula is EBIT divided by total value of firm into 100, right? The EBIT is 3 lakhs. So 3 lakhs divided by this 30 lakhs, the value is 10%. Again the 3 lakhs divided by 30 lakhs 54,545, the value is 9.84%. And 3 lakhs divided by 28 lakhs 75,000, the value is 10.43%. This is our overall capitalization rate. Okay. Next we will see the Modigliani and Miller approach, which is very popularly known as MM approach. According to this theory, the cost of capital is independent of degree of leverage and mix of debt equity proportion, which means there is no relationship between the capital structure and cost of capital. There will be it will not affect the increasing in debt on cost of capital. Okay, the basic assumptions are the capital market are perfect. The securities are traded in the very perfect market condition, which means there is no fluctuations in market, right? The risk, the business risk is equal among all firms. Here they don't mention the market conditions and demand, supply, all these fluctuations in market, and obviously there is no taxes. The expected NOI, that is net operating income, is random variable, which is not static one. Okay, we have format for calculating Modigliani and Miller approach. First we have EBIT, and we have to subtract the interest rate, then we get the value of EBT, then we have to subtract the taxation value, and we get the value of net earnings to equity shareholders, and obviously we have cost of equity. Then the market value is calculated as A divided by B. We have to add the market value of debentures, and then we get the total value of the firm, right? We have the example problem. A company has EBIT of rupees 1 lakh. It accepts the on a return on investment, the rate will be 12.5%. Find the value of the firm according to MM theory, right? So first of all we have the EBIT value. The EBIT rupees 1 lakh, which is given in the problem, and then we have to subtract the interest rate. Interest rate is here they don't mention any interest rate though, so that will be nil, and so that the EBIT is 1 lakh. There is no taxation, so the net earnings to equity shareholders will be 1 lakh, and the cost of equity B is 12.5%, or else we put it 0.125. The market value of equity, that is A divided by B, is which means 1 lakh divided by 0.125. The value is 8 lakhs. Then we have to add the market value of debt. In this problem we don't have the debt value, so the total value of the firm is 8 lakhs. This is very simple problem. You can work out a few more problems, then you will get the clear view on this MM approach. I hope you understand. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe.